It's allowing you to record on your end?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, good. Okay, then great.
All right, you guys, welcome to my channel, Wholesale to Million. My name is Khang. Today, I got the pleasure to interview this guy. You guys have asked me, and I try to deliver. He is a powerhouse real estate investor, an entrepreneur, a mentor, a coach. I mean, everything you need to learn about wholesaling houses, go to his channel. He has over 270 videos that teach you guys step by step exactly how to do this business and exactly how to be successful. So let's help me join. Welcome Ty, aka the Flip Man. Ty, how's it going, man?
Oh, I'm good, man. What about yourself?
Hey, I'm doing great, and just want to say thank you so much for accepting the invite, taking the precious time of your day to be able to do this with me, and giving my audience the knowledge and everything you got, man. I really, really appreciate it.
All right, no problem at all, man. You reached out to me, I guess 3 or 4 weeks back, and I wasn't ignoring you. I just kept forgetting. But yeah, I'm glad to do it, man.
Yeah, not a problem. And also too, I want you guys to know, I don't meet Ty personally. I did watch some of his video. He's a great guy. He gave out so much free information. And if you guys do need somebody to take you by your hand, he's the man. So let's get right into it, Ty. So my first question for you would be, why don't you share with everyone your stories, how you got started in real estate, and to get people pumped up and inspired?
Well, I'm an entrepreneur first, but I'm not one of these guys that has always been that way. A lot of people that have that mentality started out, when they were kids. I guess similar to Mark Cuban selling garbage bags door to door or selling lemonade or whatever. That inspiration only came to me once I was in college in my early 20s. And so tried a lot of different things. One of the couple of things that I tried while I was in college, one of the first things that I can just point to and just detail is I had the brilliant idea that I was going to take my student loan and start buying used cars, going to actual dealership auctions or dealer auctions and buying used cars and selling, become a millionaire. Long story short, you really need to be mechanically inclined or have someone working with you that are mechanically inclined, because whenever you go to those auctions, a car can be 15 years old and it will look brand new, and you can eat off the engine. It'll be that clean, but it may be a piece of crap. And so after going through a few cars and buying some junk or whatever, I was out of that business. All right. 1995, my brother, two of my cousins, and one of my brother's close friends, we all went to Daytona Beach for a spring break. And one of my brother's other friends drove up from Orlando. That was in Daytona. Drove up from Orlando in Florida, and he had started this mobile car wash business, and he had made six figures in doing so. So I couldn't wait till I got back to Birmingham and to start my own mobile car wash. So I bought a $900 van, passenger van, where the seats had already been taken out. It was baby blue. Bought a 100-gallon water tank and a pressure washer and a sign to promote myself when we were on site. I was in business. So my cousin and a childhood friend that we went to high school with, we were out washing cars on a daily basis, starting at hair salons, beauty barbershops, places of employment of people I knew. So we were in the game. So that was the spring and summer of '95. So when the fall hit, I'm in Birmingham, we're in the South, but it does get cold here. Matter of fact, it's in the 20s today as far as the low. I think the high is only going to be in the 30s. And so one morning I woke up, it was 40 something degrees. Even though it probably would have warmed up to about 60 or 70, I couldn't handle the 40s at all. So I was out of that business. I knew I couldn't do it. All right, so just muddled around a little bit with some multi-level marketing stuff, and never really made any money with that. That's only for a certain group of people that can make money with it. I'm not saying people can't make money with it. It just wasn't for me. So 2002, October of 2002, a friend of mine and his now wife were going to school to become real estate agents. And the guy that normally taught the class, he wasn't there, and the substitute that replaced him that night, he didn't talk about being a real estate agent. He talked about real estate investing and creative ways of real estate investing where you're using no money to put deals together and make money. And so my friend mentioned the stuff to me, and he knew I was always looking for opportunities. And I didn't act on it at that time. So fast forward a couple of months later I can tell you the date, December 27th of that year. I was at my mom's house, just after Christmas. And I was up early that morning, and I saw one of Carlton Sheets' infomercials on no money down techniques in real estate. I had seen them over the years, but I never acted upon those. And I caught it about halfway through one of the shows. And so I just went up to dial and found one from beginning to end. Again, they're not telling you anything, just how much money I made, but no one was telling you how they made the money. But I thought to myself, they can't be lying about all of this. So my mom didn't have internet back then. That was in 2002. So I waited till I got back to Birmingham, and I did a search online on this, where I posted a message on this message board that I used to frequent, online entrepreneur message board. And I asked the question, does Carlton Sheets program really work? And one guy replied, yes, it does, but Ron LeGrand has a better program. And so I did a search for his information, and it was $1,500 for the full package, which was a lot of money to me. It's something I didn't have. I was still working a 9 to 5 at that point. So what they had was another option was a condensed version of it a teaser version of it for $69.99, $80 with shipping. It came to me in the form of cassette tapes. And so I listened to it, and all it did was just pump me to the point, got me so hyped that if I had to get a second job, that's what I was going to do to come up with that $1,500. A couple of days later, thought about eBay and and I did a search for his name, and bam, there were a couple of auctions there with his course, the same exact course he was selling for $1,500. So I bid it on the auction. I lost, and the guy reached out to me that was running the auction. I guess you could do that back then with eBay, and we agreed upon $400. All right, so I got the information, and it was just me going from zero, not knowing anything about real estate, to wholesaling, lease options, for sale by owner, obviously retailing, which is flipping, and the subject twos also. All of those courses was in just one package. So I was just on information overload. But what stuck to me was three things: wholesaling, lease options, and bandit signs. Bandit signs because I'm not a salesperson. I get people to do the cold calling for me for the most part, and match numbers. I'll pick up the phone if I see a vacant property and I can find a number for them. I'll just call them. But just to do it over and over again, I don't just get people to do that. So bandit signs really attracted me because if I put the message out there that I buy houses, people call me. You call me, then we're halfway there because you want something that I have, which is obviously they want someone to buy their house. So I ordered 50 bandit signs, and I paid $250 for it, which was I overpaid for them significantly, but I didn't know any better at the time. I picked them up on a Friday, and I put them out on a Sunday morning. Now, this is not going to happen for everyone. I'm not trying to dare say this, but this is what happened for me. The very first two calls were deals. One of them was a lease option opportunity, and one of them was a wholesale opportunity. With the lease option opportunity, the guy's mom had left him a house, but he already had another house that he was living in. The house that his mom left him had a mortgage on it, so he couldn't afford both payments. So he called me, and the house, what they owed on it and the repairs and it was livable, but it still needed some repairs. it didn't make sense for a wholesale deal from my understanding at that point. So I offered a lease option opportunity to him, and I explained the terms and how it works, and he was fine with him, very transparent on what was going to happen there with the lease option. Okay, so I advertised the property. This lady wanted the property, and I met her. I wanted $5,000 down, and I met her in the Old Charlie's restaurant here in Birmingham on Parkway East. Where it used to be there, it's not there anymore. I think a Mexican restaurant there now, but people at Birmingham know what I'm talking about. And she gave me 50 $100 bills. That was the most money I cashed outside of a tax return. That was the most money cash I ever had in my hand before. I was like, wow, this stuff really works. And so the lady wanted some repairs done before she moved in. The owner of the property was a handyman. I learned that through our conversations. So I was trying to make a win-win for everyone. So I said, well, he could do some of the repairs for you, blah, blah, blah. So another part of it is that a friend of mine, I was still working a job then, he did mortgages, and the guy that owned the property wanted to refinance the house that he actually lived in. So I put them together, another win-to-win. So my friend and I that I work with, my coworker, I discovered, well, I got somebody who's going to get the house, man. She's already given me $5,000. Just through conversations, he mentioned it to the owner of the property. He felt I should have given him at least half of that, if not all of it, because he was having financial issues. That's really what it boils down to. And so whenever he was supposed to meet the lady at the house to discuss the repairs, he came over there in anger and told her to get off his property. He was going to call the police. Tyrone did not own this property. So the lady called me, and she was in tears, because she thought she had been scammed. I had already spent about $700 of the money. And so I told her, man, wherever you are, I'll come bring your money. So I had to come up with that $700. I don't even remember what I did, because I didn't have just $700 laying around or whatever, but I had it to give her money back. So anyway, so I met her, gave her money. So I called the owner just to see what was going on. And he and I got into a heated cursing match. And I found out through my friend that he was also a minister, a preacher. And so I made the comment through our argument that, hey, I don't know what flock is following you, what people are following you because you're a preacher, but I feel for them or something to that degree. And the last statement he made to me was, if I ever see you again, it won't be pretty, or something to that nature. So that's how that ended. I know I'm a little long-winded, but you asked the question, so I'm going to get to the wholesale. Probably we'll go into something else. But
sure.
So the wholesale deal was two sisters. Their mom passed, like a lot of people. We're not going to sell mom's house, too many memories. So they started renting it out to family members. And if any of you all have done that, you know how that's normally going to go. They're going to start trying to count your pocket. The rent is due on the 15th. Well, Ty, he can hold off to the 18th. I need to do this, or blah, blah, blah. So after going through that a few years, people moving in, tearing up the property, them fixing it, renting it back out. They were tired landlords. Okay, so they called me, and I'm still really green here now. I don't know what ARVs are for real or any of that. They wanted $20,000 for the property. I just felt there was much more than that. Now, I didn't have a coach or anything. I just went by the course, and still a lot of unanswered questions. And so I advertised the property in the newspaper, which you can tell how long ago that is, who uses a newspaper now to do anything. And the guy stepped forward. It was a real estate agent. And he said he had a client that would want the property. And we agreed on $25,000. So I told him I was wholesaling it. He insisted that said, the only way this buyer will be interested, that I would pay him half of the $5,000 I would have made, which is the difference between $20,000 and $25,000. So I didn't know any better. $2,500 was a lot of money. Well, it still is, but. So I agreed on. So the realtor ended up getting $2,500. So I met those guys in a parking lot, and they gave me a $500 earnest money. Set it up with their attorney. We closed it probably 10 days or so later. Boom, that was my first deal, and the rest is history.
Wow, what a great story, Ty. What a great story. So how old were you when you started it?
I was 32 at the time.
Gotcha. Okay.
This
Okay.
was I technically started. It's 15 years of this month when I started. About
Nice, man.
January of 2003.
Congrats, congrats. And so how long did it took you to your first to do your first wholesale deal?
From not counting the time it took me to educate myself, where I tell my students and non-students, I guess, is that when the clock starts is when you actually start marketing or trying to reach out to sellers. So I started that in February of that year. So I closed my first deal on like March 5th. I think it might be March 3rd. I actually looked at that. I've been saying March 5th online a lot, but I think it's actually March 3rd is when it actually closed. I looked at that house not too long ago. Just I don't remember a lot of addresses, but I remember that one. So it literally took me a little less than 30 days to do my first deal. I really had two deals that I could have done in that time frame, but one of them I ended up getting the later money back. So
nice, man. It took me 6 months to do my first wholesale deal. So
and that's not uncommon. And that's not uncommon. What did just to ask you, I'm not interviewing you, but I guess we sort of are because I'm gonna probably post this on my channel. But
sure.
How did you even get interested in wholesaling? You may have already been interested in real estate, but how did you even get interested in wholesaling?
Yeah, man. So basically, to be honest with you, that I never had the big goals or the big dreams to go and accomplish great things. We started in real estate. It was all because of the wife. We got to the point of our life where we're comfortable, but we wanted more, right? We're comfortable, we're happy, but we weren't satisfied because we knew that there was more to life. And
what do y'all do? What do y'all do?
Right now?
I mean, before you got into real estate.
Yeah. So before I got into real estate, I was working at a company, making $8.50. I worked there for 8 years. It took me 6 years to make, I think, to make $15, and also to at the same time, right when we were about 20s, we had an opportunity to buy over a small business in the mall. Have you ever seen one of those kiosks? One of those kiosks in the mall?
Yeah.
So check this out. I was at the time, Ty, I wasn't the person I am today. Like, I was very insecure, very, very shy, super shy, and that's the reason why. That's the reason why too. It was so hard for me to find a job, because for me to work in an environment, to stay there for a long time, I knew that I only can work with 3 or 4 people at a time, because more than that, I just get too nervous, and all this anxiety attacked. So anyways, when my wife bought over the business, I'm just gonna make a long story short, because this is about you, man. It's about you. So anyways, the wife bought over the business, and the kiosk was selling beauty products, hair extensions, curling irons, straighteners. So we used all of our money that we have saved to buy our house, bought over the business. And she said, Khang, we don't have any employees, so I need you to come into the mall to help me sell this. And man, Ty, I was like, dude, Lon, what's going on? I said, what's going on? I said, you know who I am. Lon, I don't go to the mall, and as a guy, like, how insecure I am. And so she begged me, and then she begged. She's like, well, Khang, you gotta go and help me out, or otherwise we're gonna lose everything. So anyways, you know what? I decided, I suck it up, go in there and give it a shot. I went in there, literally within 10 or 15 minutes. I was standing in the middle of the mall. I was sweating, my palms, my hand was shaking, my leg was shaking. And I just got the guts to ask a random girl to go by, and I said, hi ladies, you want to get your hair done? She turned around and said, no. My heart just dropped.
Oh man, you're about like me. I would have been ready to go home and get in the bed in the fetal position.
Yeah, man, that's right. So I took the keys, I drove home, tears were coming down my eyes, and I told my wife, I said, Lon, I can't believe you make me do this. I can't believe it, because I said, I would not make you do something you don't want to do. And she said, Khang, you cannot be the person you are if we want to achieve the goal and dreams that we want. And she said, for life to change, you must first change. And she said, Khang, you got to man up. She said, you got to man up and you got to do it. So, you know, she cries and I cried. Anyways, after going at it 6 months in, man, I was 6 months in, I was getting rejection. It bounced right off of me. And 6 months or 7 months in, I would start training our employee how to do it. I was selling left and right, man. And from that on, it just, you know, I think with being in the mall, being in sales, it really helps me got into real estate when we started. And we started real estate, got into it about when we were 26 or 27. And we got some money saved up. At the time, you know, the wife wanted to become a multimillionaire, but with what we're doing, you know, there's just no way to get us there. And it was going to take us like, you know, we didn't want to work until we're 60 or 65 and retire and be a millionaire. We don't want to save to, you know, we didn't want to save to $1 million. We want to be able to generate $1 million or more. Mm-hmm. So anyways, dude, she got depressed for a couple of weeks. Chat with the security guy. The security guy said, hey, check out this movie, read this book. It's called The Secret. And that's kind of what unlocked her mind, letting her know that anything is possible. And it kind of opened up the gate and let her know that, you know, anything is possible as long as you want it. So anyways, after that, she always knew that real estate makes, you know, has created the most millionaire. So we landed a book. We landed this book called How Come That It Is Rich and I'm Not. And bought the seminars. It was $7,000. It's a lot of money at the time. Bought the ticket to a 3-day seminar in Seattle. And the reason why, you know, she felt it, and she said, hey, you know what? We cannot get a different result by doing the same thing. So to change your result, we got to change what we're doing. So anyways, so she pulled the trigger, put it on a credit card, flew out to drove out to Seattle, did a 3-day seminars, and you know, just seminars is it pumps you up, right? It pumps you up and it gives you a lot of information, but not actual step. Go ahead.
What was the focus of the seminar? What was the focus of it?
So basically, the person that wrote that book, and that's the author, and that's when we went to the seminars to see. He teaches everything about, you know, buy and hold, passive incomes, building wealth, you know, to fix and flip, to lease options, to wholesaling. So anything about wholesale or anything about real estate you want to know, right? That's what he teach in the seminars. Okay. So we went there, packed information. I went back home. I applied. So start applying, and I did most of the time was just calling Craigslist. Man, I was spending 3 to 4 hours, break time, lunch time, was just pounding the phone calling Craigslist, because that's all I learned when I went to the seminar was just calling Craigslist. So basically, I think his model was just outdated, right?
Yeah.
The thing that he's using is just outdated. But anyways, after 6 months in, we got an email from him saying, hey, I'm going to host another seminars here in Florida. And that's where we met our mentor. And then we started getting to the whole fix and flip. And then, dude, when we got into the whole fix and flip, I was a mess, dude. So my wife started out in real estate knowing zero. Just like you, Ty, nothing about real estate. I didn't even know what an earnest money. I didn't know what a title company is. I didn't know what laminate flooring, REOs. I didn't know anything, right? So that's when my wife said, hey, Khang, we're going to use everything that we got, save up, and work hard for, and dump it and invest everything we got into real estate. And it scared the living heck out of me, man. But you know, my whole thing is, if that's what the wife want to do, I want to be the guy that want to support her and make her dreams come true. And you know, my mentor asked me, so Khang, what wakes up every single morning and do what you do? And I said, that's what it is, because I want my wife to say, hey, Khang, that's what I want. And I want to be the guy that say, I'll get it for you. So anyway, man, so after that, I got into the whole fix and flip. My life was just a mess. You know, I was just out of control. I wasn't organized. I was working 15, 16 hours a day. And the goal when we got into real estate, not just accumulate the money, but also too is that time freedom, right? So I was just a hot mess. And then we knew that this wasn't the lifestyle that I wanted to live. And then, fortunately enough, within a year or two in, I did my first wholesale deal. It took me 7 days to do it. I made $27,000. And I said, yeah. And I said, man, if I can make $27,000 in 7 days, I could have never done that flipping houses.
So did you, I guess, did you all ever do any fix and flips?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay, so who was were you all using your own funding or some hard money or a combination, or how were you all doing that?
Gotcha. Okay. So basically, we basically at the time we got our mentor to come out. So we flew him out for 3 days. We started to go to banks, right? We started to go to banks and letting them know that we want to get into the whole fix and flip. And we got turned down by 3 to 4 banks until we got to this bank, and they kind of took an opportunity, because at that time, I think it was 2012, and they're saying, Khang, we got a bunch of you coming in here want to flip, man, right? That's pretty much what the banker said. And they said, it's risky. Most of them don't make it. So they didn't want to invest or fund the money to them. But anyways, they gave us a shot. They gave us a chance. Our first flip, we bought it for $63,000. That was with our cash and with the bank's money. Okay. Because they would loan to us 75% of either the ARV or either as the appraised value or whichever is less, either the purchase price or the appraisal value.
What was ARV on that one, if you remember?
Yeah, I actually do remember. So the ARV, after all fixing it up, it was going to be, we listed for $169,900. But the bank would loan on it at as is value. So they'll send the appraiser to come out to see what the property is worth in an as is. And then if it's lower than what we're looking to buy, then they're going to use the appraisal value. Okay. But so whichever is lower. So they're going to loan us 75% on it. And that's what we did. And my mentor, I didn't know anything about houses, but he talked to the contractor, lined up the GC, our first flip. I didn't do anything beside, just coming up with the funds and just lining everything out. But we made $50,000 minus all the realtor commission, the closing costs. So all of our flip. So we're fortunate enough not to lose any money on it, but it was getting to the point in time where I wasn't good at managing contractor. I didn't want to wake up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I tried working with the GC, but I still having a problem with them.
I got you. How many? I know this turned into me interviewing you, but we'll go back and it's fine. We'll go back and forth. Sure. Whatever. Well, how long did you all do that before you say, hey, let me try this wholesaling thing? Okay, man. So what really got us into wholesaling, because I was just getting to the point where all of our funds tied up. We just couldn't flip another property. All of our funds was tied up in all the rehab and things like that. And then we did that for about 3 years or so, just flipping. And then I came across that wholesale opportunities. I knew that I'm not going to flip it. And I heard about wholesaling. So I decided to tie it up. And at the time I already built up a little bit of cash buyer as well, tied up and sent it out. And we got that thing sold in 7 days. And, wow. After that wholesale deal, the time that I put into it was probably 2-3 hours, and it closed in 7 days. And I was like, dude, if it takes me 3 to 5 months to make 50,000, but it took me 7 days to make 27 or 28. I said, what if I do that 2 or 3 of those a month? I would be making more than what I was flipping. And from that on, what's that? Now, 3 words for you.
What's that?
Return on investment. If you compare return on investment with wholesaling to flipping, it's not a contest. It's like an ocean and a swimming pool. As far as you said, the time you put into it, right? The money that you put in, which is normally virtually just a few $100s, and the return, it's just dwarfed. But most people, they'll look at that 50,000, right? Okay, you did get that in 3 months. If you're fortunate to get it in 3 months, right? With everything from the purchase to rehab, sitting on the market, versus with a wholesale deal in a week, and you don't have anything at risk. So and then when you just do the bare numbers, if I spend $300, we'll just say banner signs, direct mail, or whatever, I made $27,000. Or if I spent, we'll just say on that deal you were talking about, 63, say you spend another 37 in repair, that's 100. You got 100 on the hook to make 50. You do the math on that. Pull out your ROI calculator, your return on investment calculator, and do the math on that to see which one is the actual better opportunity. You can make money with both, but if we're just looking at return on investment and your time and the stress level that you have to deal with, because contractors can be a beast. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how reputable they are. They can be trouble. Obviously, there's some good ones out there, but I'm just telling you, you have to manage them, man, to get the best out of those deals. I hate it. I've done them, but I hate it or whatever. But again, I regress. So you got into wholesaling, so you were hooked after that, I'm assuming, because I know I am.
Ty, very well said, man. Pretty much after we did that one, we're pretty hooked. I typically don't like people in my area. I typically don't tell.
Where are you located? I didn't even. We've been chatting back and forth. Where are you?
Seattle, Washington.
Oh, you're in Seattle. Okay, wow. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, Ty, enough about me. Let's get back to you, man. Let's get back to you, because this interview is all about you, dude. So, so Ty, so now that we know how you got into real estate, so share with us, where are you at now with your business, with what you're doing right now?
Wow, that's interesting. I kicked around obviously with wholesaling houses and for years, and I started in 2003. So again, I was still new to real estate. All I knew is I was making more money every year, and then late 2007 happened. Well, I'm thinking around September of 2007, and we were sitting at a closing, and the buyer that I was using, I had sold a lot of houses to him, and what he was doing is buying them and cashing them out, refining them out or whatever. And he got a call while we were at the closing that the lender that he was going to use to cash it out with had went out of business. And he said, man, Todd, I'm sorry, man, I got to find another option on this before I close it. And it was just all hitting all of those subprime lending lenders. They just all faded away at once, just like that. And it was just down here. I lost a lot of money. At that point, I had gotten into buying, fixing, and flipping myself. I had 7 houses at one point, at that point there, that I was making hard money loan payments on. 7 houses. And I did that for over a year, but I didn't know that it wasn't going to change anytime soon. Lost my you-know-what on that. So drug around, still was doing a little wholesaling, got into the gold buying business, made a lot of money doing that. And then it got just too much competition into that. So got back full force into real estate. And so, things started to pick back up. This was probably 2012, 13 or whatever. And commercial, I had already done a couple of wholesale deals with apartments, right? So that's, 5 units or more considered commercial with multifamily. And so I always was trying to educate myself on commercial, but I was afraid to pull the trigger. So long story short, I have a lot of tentacles out there. So some students turned me on to some commercial avenues similar to doing the same thing that we do with wholesaling houses or whatever. And so got into that. So So what I spend my days doing, a couple of things. I still probably spend most of my time dealing with houses because, that comes a lot easier for me than the commercial. And it's all about time management. But the thing that I spend my day doing is just trying to find leads. Buyers are easy to me, because the way I look at it is you're giving away money when you're dealing with buyers. That's why you were able to close that deal in 7 days, is because you're giving away money. Now, you're giving away the money, but they're paying you to give them that money. And you're just taking a small portion of it, which is equity in the property, but they're taking on the risk that we're talking about when you're buying, fixing, and flipping. Yeah, that's glamorous, and that's what you see on HGTV and DIY channel and all that stuff. But just like you can wholesale houses, you can wholesale commercial. So a combination of both of those, man, is what I spend my time on a daily basis doing.
Gotcha. Okay, great.
Outside of dealing with students or whatever and stuff like that, this is my hobby stuff right here. I'm a very boring person, right? Ever since a girl that I used to date introduced me to the internet, that's been my hobby, is internet marketing in the sense of what I can do, because I'm still limited on my knowledge. I'm always trying to learn. That's what I spend a lot of my time trying to do, websites and all this stuff. But that's why you see the flip man or whatever. It just dwarfed into something where I do actually make money. Don't get me wrong, by no means on that, but I make my living off of doing deals. And it's just stuff here, just a hobby that I'm fortunate enough to make money off of.
Gotcha. Great. So Ty, so right now, so basically your business right now, you do still wholesale single family and you do commercial, you mentoring as well. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Okay. So now, like before I got into real estate, Ty, my whole thing is it's all about, because we're raised up in a family, we keep everything confidential and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that you're open and willing to share, your stories, etc. So really appreciate that.
No problem at all, man. No problem at all. How did you find me? I know how, but how long have you been aware of me? What I guess is the question, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, you know what? So my whole thing is that I started the channel because now that I got into wholesaling, I have some extra time, and I really enjoy just creating video. Just creating video and giving back and sharing with people things that I have learned, and then things that I will be learning, so they can, so because I know how it felt when I first started out, trying to find content from people that you can learn from and apply. And so I want to be the person, hey, you know what? Here's what I've learned. Here's what I'm going to learn. Here's what I'm doing. And hopefully you guys, they'll be able to use the resource and going out there and create their own success.
I got you.
But our main focus is that's all we do. Wholesale 24/7, 7 days a week.
So you don't do any flips or anything now?
Oh man, no. Like I don't like no flip. So right now the one thing is, like, when I go to so right now, Ty, we do them virtually. I don't go and I don't meet sellers or buyers, so I don't do any of that anymore. I don't go to the RIA anymore. But people that people that comes and talk to me and about getting to the whole, or maybe they have been flipping, I really try to hold back I really try to hold back and don't tell them how great wholesaling is, because I don't want to lose a cash buyer.
You know what, man? Most of those guys, they don't think about it in the terms that I explained earlier.
Yeah.
In the return on investment. They'll see my assignment fee, and I may have gotten, in my market, $5-10 grand,
right,
or whatever, and they may make 40 or whatever, but they don't know that I might have 6 more of these this month. You know what I'm saying? So they don't look at it like that. But everybody has their lane.
Right.
That's what makes it the world go around. As long as HGTV and DIY channels doing their job, you know, you and I will be all right.
That's right, man. That's right.
Yeah. So you do a lot of virtual stuff?
Yeah, I mean, right now, that's all we do. Like when the seller calls me up and want to meet up, nope, I refuse, because I want to put my mindset as virtual. I don't want to say, yeah, you know what? It sounds like a great deal. Maybe I should go meet them. And the bad thing is they don't want to meet me, because if they do, I'll get that house for even cheaper than it is on the phone. But right now we had a team in place and we do them all virtually. And the goal is to completely remove myself from the business and just have the team run it by themselves. But so work less and make more. That's the goal.
I got you. Well, what's your all's best form of marketing?
Right now, I mean, we spend a lot of money on direct mail. We spent right now about 20,000 or so in postcard, yellow letter. Now, I want you to understand that I don't know anything about marketing. My wife does all the marketing.
Okay.
So all I know is that we do, yellow letter and postcard, and then we probably 95% of all of our monthly marketing go into postcard and yellow and letters, direct mail, and 5% is PPC. We don't do any Facebook ad right now, but we spend in PPC the other 5%.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll get to it, but they need to maybe take a look at the mail to flip video I just recently did. I think you all may already be doing it. I don't know, but that may be an avenue to get your direct mail up to another level or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I'll definitely check it out. So
yeah, I'll send it to you.
I appreciate it. Next question, Ty. So for those that haven't done a wholesale deal and it's just recently got into real estate and wanted to wholesale, what are some tips that you can give to those new or newbie or beginner how they can do their first wholesale deal?
Well, the first thing that I think that most people got to get a grasp of is most people, we all obviously always want to know what we're doing when we get out there and do something. Seems like there's two generally speaking here, there are two lanes. You have people that they'll say, I've been reading for 2 years or 3 years or whatever on this. My mind doesn't work that way. This stuff is not that complicated. What are you reading for 2 or 3 years? You have that group, right? And so they probably are more knowledgeable than I am. In reality, I just have experience. You know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna have the other group that they'll just see one of my videos and then they'll go out there and call the seller. They have no idea what a deal is. They don't even know what questions to ask or whatever. So you have that group. So I respect that group more in the sense because they are at least taking action. Because even if you make mistakes, which a lot of people, that's why this other group, the one that's been studying for 2 years, they don't want to make any mistakes. They want everything to be perfect. That doesn't exist. I still make mistakes. 15 years in, as the date of this video. But the mistakes that you make are so valuable that the lessons that you learn. That's one of the other great things about wholesaling. If you make a mistake as a flipper, a buy, fix, and flip, it may cost you your butt. It may put you out of business. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Whereas with wholesaling, you're probably just going to be embarrassed more than anything. And as I like to often say, embarrassment is free. You know what I'm saying? So to answer your question is I would encourage you to at least know what you're talking about. Sound like you know what you're talking about, right? Now, some of that's only going to come from experience of talking with enough sellers. All right, there are two schools of thought on sellers and buyers. Some people say go find buyers first. I was taught sellers, right? And that's the way I teach it first because, again, as I said, it's not difficult to give away money. It's harder to get someone to give you $50,000 if we say that's in equity than you to give away $50,000 in equity. So why not spend the time on what's harder? Because the easy part is there. We know we can get away 50 grand on any street corner in the world if you don't get killed first with that kind of money on you. But starting out, so educate yourself and then just take action. Now, you have me on here, and you've already mentioned it. I give away the information on my YouTube channel when it comes to wholesaling houses. He's over 200 videos, everything you need to know. And people will reach out to him. I make myself very reachable. People reach out to me, and don't ever think I'm being rude if I refer you back to my channel or refer you to my weekly webinars, because normally what happens is that you're sending me over a question that I know you haven't watched all of my videos. You haven't even watched a tenth of them with the question that's coming over. Don't ever think that I'm being rude, but and then I have days like anyone else. I have problems. I have a life or whatever. It ain't all good or whatever. But at the most part, I just know people haven't went through what's free. And then people will contact me and want me to work with them. And hey, let's split the first deal. Yeah, that sounds good. And it would be more than what I actually charge. But the problem with that is that sometimes life gets in the way. So say if I spend all this time with you trying to find deals and doing what we do or whatever, and something happens in your life beyond your control, you can't do it anymore. What happens to me getting paid? So take advantage of the free information. I'm not get off my soapbox, but take advantage of the free information that I have and others that put stuff out there, and then just take action. If you do a good job of making your phone ring on a daily basis, you will do deals, and lots of them. It's really that simple. There's no magic wand that I'm waving. There's no magic wand that you're waving, Khang. If you do an effective job of marketing, which you know this, you will do deals. If you don't, you will not do deals. It's really that simple.
Yep. 100%. I 100% agree with you, Ty. There was time where in my life that, once we start wholesaling and my income went like this, it wasn't steady because exactly what you said, I wasn't, I wasn't pouring enough time into marketing to keep on generating leads. And and then I get paid and then it shuts off. And then I get paid and then it shuts off. So you know what? Marketing is the key to me. If for you guys who want to generate leads or trying to leverage up and things like that.
Well, and I'm glad you said you were in Seattle. I've touched in different markets with some of the interviews I've done on my channel, and I got Southern California covered pretty well. I got 2 or 3 videos there, but no one ever from Washington. And the houses there I hear can be in that Seattle are very expensive. Yeah. And what I tell people is, like, you made 27 grand on a deal in your market. That's probably not far off what the norm is. What's normal for you in your market? I got a question I want to ask you.
Sure. So for us, it's like typically when I put an offer in, we probably don't want to make anything less than 20. So when I put an offer in, we probably don't want to make anything less than 20. But once we got into the deal, since it is virtual, once we got into the deal, a lot of times the sellers will give us, they will say, oh, the house doesn't need much rehab. And we lock it up based on if they telling us, okay, this is what's needed, this is what's needed. So we lock it up on the contract. Then we send our buyer to come out there. And then our buyer's like, well, Khang, it needs more than $20,000 repair. So now I can't pay you the assignment fee of $20,000, but you know what? I'll pay you $10,000 or $5,000 or $15,000. So when we make their initial offer, we won't make an initial offer for less than 20. But when it comes down to, we send out to all of our buyers to get the deal done. If we make 10 on it, 5 on it, heck yeah, man, let's get it done.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And the prices of houses out there, are they similar to Southern California or a little off or what?
Right. So the thing is, Ty, I want to make sure that I'm clear with you. We're not actually in the Seattle market. We're actually about an hour and a half away from the Seattle market. Okay. So, all right. Our houses price range, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, probably in our area, probably be around that 350, 300 to 350.
Well, okay. This is where I can tell compared to my market. You understand an A, B, C, and a D neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
In the D neighborhood, what do the houses go for? D is in dog.
Right. You mean like in our area?
In the hood, yeah.
Well, the thing is, to be honest with you, Ty, like, we don't have a hood. to be honest with you, we don't have an area where they say, you know what, you don't want to go there or you don't want to buy there.
Oh, wow. You know what? I guess that I guess I could technically do that in my market. You know, there are areas I could just stay in and some investors, that's all they do. So technically, they would probably say the same thing, I guess, because they don't deal in certain areas. Well, I guess, but well, let me see.
So basically, so Ty, in our area, that you know, there's people said war zone. You don't want to go war zone. You don't want to go in the hood.
Yeah.
There is no hood because you know, the worst area, they call them Texas Street. Houses still go for in that, you know, $250,000 to $300,000, and
Okay. Wow.
and the reason why they call that a bad area is because sometimes, you know, you get your car broken, but it's really rare, maybe once or twice a year. There's no shooting, there's no crazy things like that.
Yeah. I got you. So, but that's still making my point, I guess, is that the bottom for you is in the 250 range or whatever, right? Yeah. And so people are like, well, no, I don't, because there are a lot of the examples that I'll give over the years, they may have been on a house that's 20 grand, you know what I'm saying? Or 15 or 5 or whatever. And they're like, that don't exist in my market. And I always tell them, don't worry about that. You know what that means? Your checks are going to be a lot bigger than mine. Because prices of real estate, residential, it's only that amount because that's what people can afford in that market. But you still have people that get divorced where you live, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
You still have people that lose their jobs, right?
Absolutely.
You still have people that die.
Every day.
You have people that relocate.
Yeah.
You have tired landlords.
Absolutely.
All of those create motivated sellers, which creates opportunities for you. Your job is to let them know you exist. And you do a great job of that, obviously, through direct mail. That's it.
I appreciate it, Ty. So, so now I know earlier you mentioned for people to do their first deal, all they need to do is take action. You know what, Ty? I'm that person, man. When I got into, and that's what got me to a lot of mess when I was flipping too. But it's that I just listened to something and then I go take action. Then I came across, then I made a mistake. Then I go back and watch a video or ask a question to solve that problem. But I was never an analyzer.
Me either. I've gotten in a lot of trouble with that. I've lost a lot of money stuff because I'm not. I'm not going to invent anything probably ever, right? Yeah. But what I think I am pretty good at, like you share some stuff with me you don't know you have. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And run with it. You know, I'm always listening. Whenever I'm meeting someone new, my main thing is, what are you doing that I'm not doing, right?
Smart.
Because I don't know everything.
Yeah.
What are you doing that I'm not doing? Just in the last 2 weeks, I just got a anonymous email from a guy trying to sell something. I bought it, and it may have been the best money I've spent in years just from the conversation that I had with him. Or whatever. Man, he made me look at things totally different as far as a different avenue of marketing. Still testing it, and I don't know if I ever put it out there or whatever because he asked me not to. So, wow, but my point is that, you know, I'm not an analyzer. And again, that's going to get you in trouble sometimes. Yeah. Or sometimes you need to, you know, wait and see. Or whatever. I'm not an analyzer. I know when I hear something good in most cases. I just take it and run with it and put my own twist on it. So, but you know, everybody's different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everyone's different. So you have to move at your own pace. You know, I have to do it the way I do it.
Gotcha. So I know, Ty, that you said, you know, for I was asking you, you know, for those that's a newbie and starting out, to get their first wholesale deal, you said to take action. Now I want to ask you, is that, do you have some actionable steps that they can do? Actionable steps.
Yeah. Or we're assuming that the person doesn't have much money to work with. That's one on the platform I'll come from.
Yep. Ty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can't say the information is not available to you. Okay. So you can't use that excuse. Some people would say, well, I'm hands-on. Well, you can't afford hands-on. So now you have to take advantage of what's available to you and make it work. If you're using, hey, I can only learn stuff that's hands-on, then that's an excuse. You're not going to probably do anything anyway. So if the information is free through my channel, maybe even your channel, all right,
You're freezing up. Ty, can you hear?
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I said my internet was unstable, but I think it's good now.
Okay.
So step one is educating yourself. So the information is free on my end. All right. So now, you say, well, I don't even have money for bandit signs. So I'm gonna tell you a couple of things that you should do. I'm just using bandit signs as an example. Is that now you can buy 200 bandit signs for $200, 9x24, single-sided, horizontal flutes. The company I use and recommend is Dirt Cheap Signs. You call us, ask for Christina, they'll give you the discount just by mentioning my name. But you don't have to use them. You can use them as a price point. So some of you buy 200 bandit signs. So now you have the knowledge, you have a method of getting your phone to ring. So now it's time to start taking calls from sellers. So I give away the contract that I use and people use all over the country. So you have the paperwork you need. So now it's all about generating leads. Now, bandit signs is one method. Okay, well, some people say, well, I'm afraid to do them because they're illegal. They're illegal everywhere. So they're illegal everywhere. Every city, state, county, they're illegal. All right, so you have to make your own choice on that. So if you don't want to do those, another option, we'll just give you some free options. All right, so doing that, the list of motivated reasons people will be motivated sellers was tired landlords. That's probably going to be the biggest group of individuals that you'll deal with through your marketing channels, whether it's cold calling or someone calling you. Would you agree, just out of curiosity, would you agree with that? Would tired landlords be probably number one as far as the reasons why people want to sell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Ty. I mean, there's obviously more, but yes, tired landlord, it's also
okay.
a good.
All right, so what you can do is you can take free websites like Craigslist. Well, all sites are really free, but you know what I mean. You can go to Craigslist in the rental section, or you can go to Zillow in the rental section, other sites like that. And instead of doing what everybody else did, like Khang did whenever he started, just calling Craigslist to add for sale, why not call the properties that are for rent, right?
Smart.
They're off market. They're not for sale in most cases. So what you're now is just playing the numbers. You're doing this based on your resource. So you don't have money. That means you should have time. It normally correlates that way. If you don't have money, normally you have time. Stop watching the Kardashians, right? Stop watching Empire, all right? Stop playing video games and put the work in. Well, okay, so now you picking up the phone, say, hey, I want to talk to 5 landlords per day. Just using.
You just froze, Ty.
You can hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. That's not. For rent signs, that's doing it offline. And what you would look for is those generic red and white or black and white signs that you can buy from Walmart or Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, and calling those landlords. Now, online, what you're going to run into a lot of is actual property managers and or actual realtors that are managing the properties for the owners. So you can still ask them whenever you call them. You find out if the property is still available. All right. Whether they say yes or no, it doesn't matter. You'll ask them, well, hey, would the owner of this property be interested in selling it? All right. So if they say no, you find out, hey, do they have any other properties that they will be selling? If you're talking to the owner, do you have any other properties? And it just goes into the normal process of trying to, collect the necessary information to analyze the deal and to make an offer or get him to give you his least amount. So there you are, you know. So obviously, if you take the bandit sign right, you take the direct mail route. I recommend mail-to-flip.com. I'm an affiliate of this service. I don't know if I told you. Pictures of the houses on your direct mail?
Do we have pictures on our direct mail? Sorry,
Yeah.
you're breaking up. No, I don't think so.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Oh, that's one of them. Yeah.
This is one of my postcard.
Okay. What they do is, oh damn, I don't have it in here with me. Oh, I should have it. Oh, I should have it with me. Oh, I should have it with me. You know what? Just hold on a second.
Sure.
Just hold on a second. Just hold on. Khang.
Yep, I'm here.
Check this out.
Oh, nice. You know what? I've heard about it, but now that I actually see it, wow.
Yeah, and then they do the letters like this.
Yeah.
That's amazing. This is the owner's property now.
Oh, wow.
So you know, with direct mail, the objective is to prevent your mail from being sorted. When they, you know, most people, according to direct mail, the direct mail industry, most people sort their mail over the trash can. And so your objective is, as a direct mailer, is to prevent your piece of mail from entering into the trash can. And so when someone picks this up and they say, wow, that's my house, you've done your job. They read your message, right? And the numbers just take over.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Now, Ty, so I'm gonna be a little bit selfish, you guys. So what is the cost for that postcard?
You know what? I hate to quote it. If they go to mail-to-flip.com, just enter their name, phone number, and email address, you can get to. They have an actual calculator on the site, right? And you can just do the numbers there. Anyone that goes through my site, the mail-to-flip.com, they'll get a 10% discount on their first order for the printing.
Cool.
So,
okay.
but they actually have a great calculator there on the, and then they have different sizes than this or whatever. Okay. But it'll give you exactly what it'll cost to send.
Nice. So, nice. So you mentioned it's what is it? Mail-to-flip.com?
Yeah, I'll send it to you, but yeah, it's mail-to-flip. It's like mail, MAIL, the number 2, FLIP.com.
Cool. So let me see. All right, hey, thanks a lot for sharing that information, Ty. But so I figure that you've already answered the questions of kind of give them a breakdown of how to get their first deal done, right? Because you're putting out.
I was the reason I went and got that, I was using that as another example, but depending on someone's budget. But I try to take it from the approach that someone doesn't have the money to spend a lot of money to spend on getting started. So I gave them in my opinion, one of the best ways to do it for free is targeting, landlords, so. And obviously, the bigger the market you're in, the more opportunities that will exist. Now, you do have to have people to do this business. So if you're in a very small town, then you're going to have to do something different, as far as what market you're reaching out to. And it's just going to be a little different process or whatever. So. Nice.
Gotcha. So now, Ty, on the mail, on the mail campaign that you just shared with me, what is the rate of return or call, I guess?
Generally speaking, from their numbers, they say they normally get between 20 to 30% return.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. And how long? And you guys, I'm being really selfish here. So Ty, how long have you been using that postcard?
I've just started using them. And in the video that I put out, I think that's 2 or 3 days ago. I was waiting on this in the mail or whatever before I did it. I've been mentioning it because you know what? See, the reason this is so attractive to me, I actually thought about doing this about 2 years ago, right? But I couldn't come up with an efficient way of doing it. So this is what this company does. They're just a full-fledged graphics company, and this is one of their products, right? And so some people probably have already seen this through some other channels or whatever, but they reached out to me. And so I put a mail campaign together, just a small one, you know what I'm saying? But I targeted multi-family, so you don't need the same you don't need the same, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't need the same size list as you do with houses. You know what I'm saying? You just don't. And number one, it's going to be hard to come up with that list in most markets anyway, because so many more single-family properties than there are multi-family. So I have a deal that it's out. It'll be a virtual deal for me. It's about 3 hours away, but I have a deal from it. You know what I'm saying? We haven't closed it yet, but I'm probably going to end up making about 12 grand on it.
Nice.
You know, it's just only sending out 200. You know what I'm saying? I think I spent maybe what did they charge me? Well, they gave me a different rate, but you can imagine I only sent out 200. It couldn't have cost that much. So so do the return on investment on that. We'll just say $200.
Yeah.
$200, $12,000.
You guys do the math.
You do the math.
Nice.
Do the math.
Nice.
But I'll have more to say about that if it comes to pass or whatever. So, but I actually, as I said, again, I thought about that because I'm always looking for different ways to stand out from my competition. Right. Everybody receives postcards. Yep. Everybody receives yellow letters. Now, one of the things that I was doing, but this is what I'll be doing from now on when I do my direct mail, is that I would actually sit down and scrub a list. I'll buy a list, right? And I would scrub the list. I would only buy a list of about 500 names, and I would manually go through each one of them looking for equity. The potential of equity, because sometimes you just don't know. But the potential, what I mean by that, if the ARV of the house is 100, and I see they bought it back in 1995 for 30, there's a possibility that they don't owe anything on the house. You see what I'm saying? So that would make my list. But if the ARV is 100 and they just bought it last year for 90, there's no equity. Yeah. There's no reason I should send out a piece of mail. But how I send the mail is just as important. So because I'm sending a much more direct, targeted list, then what I do is I send out, if you receive something about, like if someone sent you a document about FedEx or UPS, that letter is 9.5 by 12.5. And then it's that thick cardboard type mailer, right?
Yep.
I ordered those from this company, this website, envelopes.com, and that's what I send, right? So when they get my piece versus like the postcard, both work now, don't get me wrong, like the postcard you send, well, who has the likelihood of getting read? Because they don't even know what's in mine, right? And two of the deals that I closed on it, they were two elderly ladies. They said, both of them said the exact same thing. They said that they called me because I took the effort to put that together, right? So, but you know, it's all about getting your attention, and at the end of the day, all about getting your message read. So
smart, man. I love it, Ty. I love it. So last question, Ty, is that now this is for those that have the money and they're, you know, and they want to scale up to, you know, maybe do over 6 figures, you know, to do, let's just say a couple $100,000 a year in wholesaling. So my question for you is, for those that want to scale up, what are some tips and advice that you can give to those that want to scale up? Or maybe they're only making, let's just say, you know, 40, 50, or 60,000 right now, and they want to scale up and try to hit that 100,000 plus a year.
Well, without analyzing each individual, seeing what they're already doing, but the main thing is obviously whatever you're doing is producing that. So you got to add on in a combination of duplicating, doubling what you're doing. But you're going to probably have to add on another method. There's several, obviously. I preach branded signs. Obviously, the direct mail. All right, and then you can get your online presence. Now, one of the things that I'm still trying to figure out, and you can do pay-per-click through Google AdWords and maybe even Bing or whatever, is I'm still trying to figure out Facebook ads for this. I use Facebook ads for, the flip man stuff. But as far as finding sellers, and I have actually had gotten a property on the contract before. I didn't close the deal, but I gave up on it, right? Because I'm used to the number of leads that what direct mail will produce or bandit signs or pay-per-click will produce. So it's a different animal as far as Facebook. But to answer your question, you got to ramp up. You got to increase your call volume. It's no magic wand in this. It's just not. You increase your call volume, what you're doing, or if you're cold calling, just seller contacts. Increasing your seller contacts, you're just banking on life will get you paid. Meaning divorce, death, job or income loss, relocation, tired landlords, kids going off to college, medical situations, all that factors into motivated sellers. So you got to increase your seller contact on a daily basis. It's really that simple. It's just really that simple. Not saying it's always easy, but it's that simple. Increase your seller contacts.
I agree, Ty. I agree, man. Hey, Ben, so just to wrap this up, Ty, I want to say, hey, man, thank you so much for taking your precious time out of your day to do this interview with me. I just want to show you my my appreciation and just want to say thank you, all right? Now,
no problem at all, man.
Now, Ty, how do people get a hold of you or reach out to you? I know that you have a YouTube channel, but what other kind of sources that they can go and find you?
It's very simple. As it says, starting with YouTube, you can just do a search for the Flip Man, and I should pop up. You should see my ugly mug there somewhere. And you can go to my site, flipman.net, and pretty much everything that I have to offer. Every Thursday, I have a live flipinar with my host, Adria, where I just answer pretty much any questions on real estate investing in general, but most of it's on wholesaling. You can access that through flipinar.com, and you can access it through Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We're on all three of those platforms at once. And so, and then again, also, if someone's interested in these, you can just go to mailtoflip.com. So.
Got it. And Ty, what time do you do that live stream?
Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 4 p.m.
Got it. And you guys, I would drop in the description, I'll drop all the links that Ty just mentioned, so that way you guys don't have to remember it. You guys can just click on it. And you guys, if you haven't seen Ty and watch his YouTube channel, you don't really have to watch my video. The guy got everything from 0 to 100 to get you to start wholesaling. He covers every single part or everything that you can think of to how to go out there and do your first wholesale, to scale up, to get success and to be successful in this business. And you guys haven't checked out his channel, go there, hit him up, subscribe, and watch his channel and just taking actions and making it happen. So Ty, just want to say thank you, man. You have anything to say to wrap this up?
No, not at all, man. I really appreciate you. I'm glad we hooked up. I learned a lot from you, man. I really wanted to interview you. Hey, but people need to take action, man. I'm no smarter than anyone else. The only difference may be is that I'll take action. Sometimes I'll get burned on it, but with wholesaling, you don't have to worry about that. It just may get a little egg on your face, but that's free. So take action, people. You know, whether you go through me or through Khang, whoever, you know, just educate yourself, know what you just sound like you know what you're talking about, and make sure you're making enough seller contacts. You know, you'll make money and lots of it.
Nice. So you guys don't just watch this and then go back and do nothing. You guys watch it, take action, please make it happen. And Ty, thank you so much for wrapping this up. I really appreciate your time, man. And just want to say thank you so much. But I'll definitely drop all the links to Ty, so that way you guys can get a hold of him. Okay.
All righty, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Ty. Have a great day, man.
All right, you do the same.
Bye.